All right, UFC 305, you've seen the thumbnail. You know what I'm going to say. Listen, if you are an Anzac, if you are Australian, if you are a Kiwi, if you are a New Zealander, if you're from you belong to the Anzac tribe, I apologize because they're all going to lose. And I don't even like saying that. My predictions, I'm just going to get straight to the point, are not going to be good for the home team. By home team, I mean if you're from Australia or New Zealand, okay? And there's a lot of them on the card, and there's a lot of them from the same camp. City Kickboxing, that's right, Israel Adesanya, Kai Kara France, and Dan Hooker, right? We're going to go through the whole card, the main card, and I'm going to give my predictions. And if you are Australian or a Kiwi, I apologize. This is nothing personal. Just looking at the facts, the stats, the fight history, and coming to a conclusion. I married an Australian. She's a beautiful woman. She's a fantastic wife. But I'm telling you, her countrymen are going to lose. So let's start with the main event. It's the main event for a reason. I'm very excited for it. This is going to be a sensational fight. Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Izzy has got to be careful in this one. He's got to control his emotions. But I do think he has to go forward. If Izzy goes forward, he will not allow Dricus to dominate the geography inside the octagon. What I mean by that is Dricus likes to come forward all the time. He's one way. That's it. One-way traffic. Comes forward, swings, unorthodox, wild timing, super aggressive, switches to the takedown super easy. If Izzy puts him on the back foot, he's not going to be able to do that. He's not going to be able to use the forward momentum to time the takedowns. But if he does go forward too much and he's a little too reckless and too aggressive, he's going to walk into some of those takedowns. Now, Izzy is a counter striker, and he might be able to catch Dricus coming in. As he's coming in, boom, sharp shooting, straight shots, just like he did with Alex Pereira. Granted, he was against the fence, he covered up, he played the rope-a-dope, he took the time, he hit the 1-2, boom, boom, and that was it. Bow and arrows all day long. But I think the chin of Dricus Du Plessis is going to hold up against the best shots. I do think it's going to be an all-out war. I do believe both men are going to have a lot of success, but I do think that Dricus will be successful with the takedowns. And when it hits the ground, this man is a specialist. Remember, there's a video of him out there taking on an entire Gracie Barra team, and he defeated them all, one after the other, and submitted a lot of them as well. When you look at the record of Dricus Du Plessis, the man's a finisher. 21 wins, 19 stoppages, 9 knockouts, 10 submissions, right? One of the only people that he didn't finish was Sean Strickland. And if Dricus gets the job done, he's fighting Sean again. We know that. If Izzy gets the job done, he's fighting Sean again. And when he spoke to the press this week, Izzy didn't sound too welcoming of that prospect.
You're not listening, are you? You're not. We've already answered that. We talked about that earlier on. All right, that'll be the last one. But yeah, thank you. This was fun.
Right? He didn't seem like he wants to get in there with Sean Strickland again, or maybe he was just sick of the media, because it is tiresome when you're promoting a fight. If it hits the ground, Dricus Du Plessis has a massive advantage over Israel Adesanya. Izzy's been so good, and he's made a career of stopping takedowns and using the kickboxing. People that have taken him down, Izzy's shown a tremendous ability to bounce back up, get to his feet quickly, and disengage from the clinch. Very smart. And that's often why he skates around the perimeter of the octagon, because if you drive in, you get a hold of him, rush him up against the fence, he can use the whizzer, he can underhook, he can turn his opponents off the fence and then disengage and then go back to work. The problem is Dricus is going to shoot takedowns out in the open. He's going to swing, he's going to commit to his shots, he's going to connect, he's going to level change, and he's probably going to get him down clean. And once he does, he's got tremendous downward pressure, and the man has a relentless submission game. And if he gets his arms wrapped around the neck of Israel Adesanya, it could be a rear naked choke, it could be a guillotine, it could be a one-armed guillotine. The man is a specialist at the one-armed guillotine. No one wants to lose via a one-armed guillotine. I did that in Sydney, Australia, to Luke Rockhold, you son of a bitch. He got me good. Anyway, by the way, I was blind in that fight because he cut my eye. Still, there it is. There's my prediction. I do believe Dricus Du Plessis has his first successful title defense. There's a lot of pressure on Israel Adesanya. Is he the same guy? Has the fire gone out? Is the passion the same? Is the sleeping in silk sheets and all these other cliches, are they coming home to roost? Or will we see Israel Adesanya, motivated, fired up, left no stone unturned in training camp. I believe he has got all of those things. I believe he is coming into this one extremely hungry. I believe it's like Rocky going back to the hood and training with Apollo Creed and going back to his roots and losing all the shiny stuff and the masseuses and the fancy cars and all the rest of it. He is that guy. He's coming in motivated. However, I think stylistically, Dricus takes this one. Anyway, moving on. So that's the first guy from New Zealand to go down. All right, this weekend, the UFC returns to Perth, Australia. UFC 305 is going down. The champion from South Africa, Dricus Du Plessis, is defending against Israel Adesanya in an all-out grudge match. This fight is going to be fantastic. This video is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. This fight's fantastic, and if you want to get in on the action, then DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you a chance right now because they have a fantastic offer for you. If you like to get in on the action, new customers, all you got to do is sign up using the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the app right now. Use the promo code Bisping. New customers that bet $5 will then be rewarded with $150 in bonus bets instantly. I told you, it's a pretty good offer. As I said, DraftKings, they are the official sports betting partner of the UFC. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, then don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy. And DraftKings is offering huge contests this weekend with massive cash prizes up for grabs. So this fight is going to be ridiculous. New customers bet $5. Get rewarded with $150 in bonus bets only at DraftKings. In the co-main event, Kai Kara-France going up against Steve Erceg, right? Kai Kara-France is a great fighter. I love watching this man fight. He has got really good kickboxing and he is a mean little nasty son of a bitch as well. However, I think he's outmatched against Steve Erceg. Kai Kara-France, 24 wins, 11 losses. 11 losses, so he's no stranger to losing a few fights. Granted, top of the food chain guys, Amir Al-Bazi, Brandon Moreno when he fought for the interim flyweight championship. He had a 3-fight win streak before that. He lost to Brandon Royval and Brandon Moreno again. As I say, there's no shame in losing to those people. Steve Erceg, though, the meteoric rise of this man is incredible. 12-2. He was on a 10-fight win streak, knocks out Matt Schnell, flies down to Brazil, gets a title fight against Alejandro Pantoja. Everybody's like, what's going on? This is crazy. He's got no business being there. Well, guess what? He pushed Pantoja to the absolute limit. And yeah, he lost that fight, but he's got to improve. He's now going to believe in himself. And we saw he has got really, really good takedowns. So the reason I'm picking Erceg to win is because there's more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to mixed martial arts. Kai Kara-France gets it done on the feet most of the time, and I love watching him operate. But Steve Erceg is going to mix things up, and I think he takes on the victory via decision. That's 2 Kiwis down. No offense to you fellas out there, and if I'm wrong, I will apologize. I am merely a man making predictions. Before this, we have the third team member for City Kickboxing. It's like I've got a problem with City Kickboxing. I think they're a tremendous team and they're doing great things. Dan Hooker returns, taking on Mateusz Gamrot. Now, bearing in mind, this is midlife crisis, Dan Hooker. This is the man covered in tattoos, bleached blonde hair, who had a tremendous performance against Jalen Turner. He's got an excellent kickboxing pedigree as well, and he knows how to use the reach. Last time out against Jalen Turner, the man broke his arm after getting almost finished, and then he came back and it was an unbelievable performance, a great fight, and I've got a lot of respect for him, right? But this is Mateusz Gamrot that he's fighting. Mateusz Gamrot will be shooting single legs from the other side of the octagon. He shoots a single leg with the head on the outside, not on the inside, right? You shouldn't do that. People tell you off for doing that because you gotta get guillotined. So Gamrot's gonna have to watch the guillotine, but I do think he will take Dan Hooker down and he will kind of have not a field day, but he has a big advantage down there, and I believe Mateusz Gamrot gets the submission. That seems like I've got a big problem with City Kickboxing because that's going to be 3 down. And by the way, that's going to affect the morale in the team for Israel Adesanya as well, leading up to that fight. They all share a locker room. Dan Hooker goes out. They've got to watch him come back in defeated, if I'm correct. Then Kai Kara-France goes out. His teammate just got beat, right? Maybe a few demons there. Comes back. He's lost. Now it's Izzy's turn. All of his team have just been beaten. Perhaps you start to doubt yourself and like, whoa, are we doing something wrong in training? These little niggles, these doubts start to creep in, that little devil on your shoulder. Maybe it's time to hang up the gloves, mate. Your best days are behind you. These are the conversations and the inner voices that go through fighters' minds. I'm telling you right now, because I've been there. But I could be wrong, as I say. Before that, this fight's going to be tremendous. I can't wait for it. Tai Tuivasa. I love watching this man fight, right? We know he brings it every time. He's a kill or be killed type of fighter. He's tremendous fun to watch. The walkouts are phenomenal. The celebrations are incredible. The shoeies galore. They're disgusting. They're spitting in the shoes. They're down in the beers. It's a fun time, though. When Tai Tuivasa fights, that's what it is. It is a fun time. And this man is tremendous. And he's had some massive victories. Who could forget when he knocked out Derrick Lewis in Derrick Lewis's hometown of Houston at UFC 271. But that was February 2022. This is 2.5 years later. And since then, he's lost 4 in a row. Cyril Gane, Sergey Pavlovich, Volkov, and Marcin Tybura. And the problem for him in this matchup is that he's fighting Jair Rozenstruik, a man that was a professional kickboxer, a man that has 76 wins with 76 knockouts. When Jair Rozenstruik loses, most of the time it's when he gets taken down, right? Not every time. He has been beaten on the feet, but Jailton Almeida took him down easily. Curtis Blades, same thing, right? Against Tai Tuivasa, these two are going to stand and they are going to bang. And whoever has the better kickboxing pedigree will go home the winner. On paper, technically, the better kickboxer is Jair Rozenstruik. But we have seen Tai Tuivasa take some big shots and then land some big shots. I'm a big fan of Tai Tuivasa. I hope he gets the job done. But my pick for this one, I'm sorry, Tai, if you see this, buddy, don't come for me. Biggie boy is going to have a big night. Not to mention Tai's lost 4 in a row. So that's a lot of pressure there. There's a lot of pressure there, and that will affect the performance. And then, before that, opening up the main card, Jingliang going up against Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates, this man is explosive, let me tell you that. 3 wins under the UFC umbrella. 1 on the Contender, 2 in the UFC. Stop Charles Radke. Stop Trevin Giles. Knees to the body. This man uses them so well. Very explosive knees. Excellent kickboxing. You put it all together, the man's on a mission, the man's on a roll, the man's on a massive win streak as well, right? And Jingliang on the flip side, the man hasn't fought in 2 years. He's had some injuries. He's had some time away. He's 36 years old, and granted, he's a welterweight. He's not a lightweight, but still starting to slow down a little bit. 2 years away from the octagon, some injuries, and then going up against Carlos Prates, the Brazilian, but I think he lives in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Going up against Carlos Prates, the momentum is on his side, and I believe he's the more explosive of the two. So I think he gets the job done there. So there it is. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you Australians and you New Zealanders, you Kiwis, forgive me for these picks, but I've got Izzy losing. I've got Kai Kara-France losing. I've got Dan Hooker and Tai Tuivasa losing. And let me just say this one more time. I take no pleasure in saying this. Zero pleasure. I want Tai Tuivasa to go out there and entertain the people. I would love to see an amazing champion like Israel Adesanya turn back the clock, get the job done, win the rivalry, reclaim the throne, and show the world that he's the best middleweight that we've ever seen. Barring Anderson Silva, right? I would. What a story that would be. I just don't think it happens. But anyway, I've talked for a long time. What do you think about my predictions? Let me know in the comment section. Who do you think wins these fights? Thank you for watching. Saturday, I will be doing a live stream with my son, Callum, right? So we're going to do a live stream. We're going to do a watch party for the whole of UFC 305. So make sure you tune in for that one. Subscribe, ring the bell, although nobody rings a bell. Nobody rings the bell, but that's what we say. Subscribe and ring the bell. Thanks for watching. See you soon.